Welcome to Kind of a Filmmaker. Today we're going to be analyzing 10 more unique camera moves that filmmakers like yourself should remember. These are camera moves where the camera itself becomes a storyteller, turning technical maneuvers into powerful metaphors that deepen the narrative. Number 31. The Dozer Dolly. This shot was first used in the 1927 movie Wings, where we see a lot of people in a restaurant enjoying themselves when all of a sudden the camera just seems to bulldoze over these poor innocent patrons. It looks this way because a camera move like this where the camera goes forward or backward in a straight steady line is typically achieved with the use of a dolly. A dolly is a wheeled cart or platform that carries the camera and is rolled, typically on a track, towards its destination. So when watching this camera move, if they used a dolly, the dolly would be running over these poor people trying to enjoy their meals. Instead, to achieve this shot, the filmmakers built a special-made inverted rig hanging from the ceiling. Story-wise, this is a smooth and interesting way to get a lay of the land, so to speak. It shows the viewer the electricity of the restaurant by quickly showing one couple and then the next without cutting, as to not break the immersion or the excitement. Number 32. The Video Volley. In the movie Challengers, we see Art and Patrick in an extremely tense face-off, playing tennis, obviously, because this movie is about tennis. Art throws the tennis ball up into the air and it seems to fly straight into the camera. At this point, the camera becomes the ball, as it flies back to Earth and gets smacked by the racket. For the next 15 seconds, the camera is seemingly hit back and forth across the net by the tennis players. This is an incredibly hectic and exciting and energetic shot that adds so much to and emulates the hectic and exciting and energetic tennis match. But how did they achieve something like this? This is impossible. I know they didn't actually hit a camera back and forth. Well, the filmmakers used an Arri Alexa LF on a techno crane to capture multiple shots of two stunt doubles playing tennis. These shots were then mixed with a photorealistic 3D world created with LiDAR scans and edited to include the original actors' faces. So good luck trying this in your own independent short film. Nevertheless, you should take this idea and manipulate it to fit your own broke-ass filmmaking needs. Number 33. The Whirlpool. This shot I found in the short film I Have No Legs and I Must Run, where we see a bunch of runners jogging around a circular coliseum. The camera, which is a drone in this case, is spinning on an axis and looks directly down on them. This mimics the motion of the runners and keeps them in the same place on screen even as they run. A technique like this could be used to give the impression or the subtext that the runners aren't making any progress, they are being impeded by some outside force, maybe destiny. Also notice how this choice of camera move is influenced by the location they filmed at. If they were running in a triangle-shaped track, it would not work as well. This shows us that the camera moves you choose for your film can complement the location and the movement on screen, or it can take away from those things. So pick your camera moves wisely. Number 34. The Jib Jump. In the movie Blood Simple, the Coen brothers' first feature film, we see what looks like a normal dolly move slowly approaching a passed out drunk guy at a bar. But we quickly find out that this is no ordinary dolly move because the camera seems to jump over the man like Super Mario. Now, why they did this is kind of a mystery because it doesn't seem like it is motivated in any way, except in the sense of the camera would run into the man if it didn't jump. It is unexpected and disarming, but that's the Coen brothers for you. They are unexpected and disarming not only in their dialogue and plot, but also in their camera moves. As far as how they achieved this shot, I'll let the cinematographer explain.
So this is the shot everyone remembers because the camera dollies over the table
in a
and then backs down again.
Unmotivated way.
We had dolly tracks here and armed a piece of wood over the table and the camera's facing that way.
Number 35. The Sleep Sling. Here we have yet another unexpected camera move from the movie Blood Simple. Here we see Frances McDormand's character discovering the aftermath of a crime scene when all of a sudden she seems to fall backwards into her bed, which is in an entirely different location. At first I thought this was a clever editing trick, but under further review it seems like the Coen brothers used practical effects and lighting gags to achieve this impressive move on set. I couldn't find a picture of the exact rig they used, but it might look something like this BTS footage of Ms. Marvel. In terms of the story reasons for why they would use this shot, I think an uncut move like this not only signifies the passing of time, but it signifies that something is consistent within that passage of time since the camera move itself is consistent and unbroken. It signifies that Frances McDormand's thoughts about what happened at the crime scene have also been unbroken this entire time. In other words, she can't get it off her mind, and it causes her to lose sleep. Number 36. The Shovel Shot. This camera move in Do the Right Thing kind of follows the movement of a shovel if you were digging up dirt or snow with it, because as you can see, the camera goes from this frame to this frame in a swooping motion that is very different from your typical pan. This movement helps emphasize the difference in position and framing of the first group of people to the second person. It feeds into the illusion that Radio Raheem is a larger-than-life figure since we, from the camera's perspective, are having to look up to him within the same shot as the others. Number 37. The One-Take Wall Break. This next camera move is also from the movie Do the Right Thing, where we see Radio Raheem talking on the street with Mookie. All of a sudden, the camera shifts over from this two-shot into a full-on frontal shot of Raheem. But not only has the framing changed in this one camera move, but the POV has changed as well. We went from a third-person POV observing both characters from the outside to Mookie's first-person POV. We are essentially inside Mookie's head now, looking out of his eyes at Radio Raheem, as Radio Raheem now speaks directly to us. This camera move emphasizes the fourth wall break and tells the audience that what Radio Raheem has to say is really important. Number 38, the POV Pirouette. The movie The Red Shoes is a masterpiece about ballet, the chase for glory, and the unending desire of artists to do, well, art. The ballerina Victoria Page is one of these artists that can see no other way of living than to do what she loves, and that is to dance. In one particular scene, we see her performing on stage when she begins to spin. The film then cuts to a shot of her POV where we see what she sees as she spins. The camera whip pans several times in a row, mimicking her spin and stop movement. But what's cool about this POV shot is the fact that every time the camera stops, the focal length and the resting place of the camera changes, creating a frantic change in perspective, mimicking the anxiety this character must have felt in front of this audience. Number 39, the ceiling slide. This shot from the opening of Maestro sees Bradley Cooper's character get out of bed as he prepares for a day where he is going to be conducting the New York Philharmonic. He smacks his boyfriend's butt and then runs out the door. The camera here is on the ceiling and it follows him out of the door of his apartment, seemingly phasing through the wall like a ghost. It continues until it once again phases through another wall, this time transitioning into the auditorium that he will be performing at. This camera move, being uncut and consistent, much like the Sleep Sling earlier, is a way to emphasize the fact that there is something in these shots that is also uncut and ongoing. And in this example, I think it is emphasizing the fact that Leonard Bernstein is so excited about conducting the orchestra tonight that he has not stopped thinking about it the entire day. This camera move is also a brilliant and smooth way to show the transition of time in a way that is not choppy. Now, to pull off a shot like this, let's be honest, you need to be rich, because you need to have not only a techno crane or some kind of ceiling rig like we saw in the Dozer Dolly shot, but you also need a set. You will need to build a set so that the camera can pass from the bedroom to the hallway without hitting the wall. And also, I think there is an edit right here where they transition from the set to the actual location. They just edit and match two camera moves in post. Nevertheless, for independent filmmakers, this is more about understanding why they chose this shot and you adapting this shot for your, again, broke-ass needs. Number 40, the Diverting Dolly. Finally, we have another Coen Brothers camera move from the movie Miller's Crossing, where we see the dolly leading the main character as he walks toward it, when all of a sudden the dolly spins 180 degrees, continuing to dolly, diverting its attention from the main character to the thing that the main character is looking at. This is a very energetic shot that puts the emphasis on what the main character is looking at in a way that simply cutting from a shot of the main character to what he's looking at would not do. And the good news about this one is you can do this one at home with a gimbal. And that's it for this episode of Camera Moves Filmmakers Should Remember. Please like and subscribe in the comments if you want to see more, and go watch the other videos because there's like 30 other camera moves before these. Thank you. Goodbye.